Scatterkind is such a great place for people who just want to create and consider themselves multi-passionate, polycrafters, craft gods.
Scatterkind is the nation's first tufting studio. We hold tufting classes, so we're teaching everyone how to use the gun, and then we're supervising them as they're making their very first rug. Scatterkind started about 2 years ago. I was working in digital marketing. I also found this art form on TikTok or Instagram. And before I started tufting, I was doing punch needling, which is kind of like the manual version of tufting. So, I bought everything. I started learning how to tuft, but what ended up happening was the day after I started learning, I had this whole breakdown at work actually, and I kind of just put my 2 weeks in on the spot. And since, I didn't have any job lined up, at first I was doing a bunch of commissions, just selling rugs. And then that's when I eventually came down to the idea of starting a tufting studio and starting to host these classes because one, I saw that a tufting studio just didn't exist in the country. And two, I saw that, as a business, I can work with a lot more people and this could be something that's more of an experience. I got commissioned by someone to make this huge 6-foot Pepe the Frog rug. And that money ended up being what I used to start Scatterkind. And at that time, the studio was super, super tiny. I was only able to fit, 2 people at a time. I ended up moving 4 or 5 times and now we're in this really big studio in Queens and we can hold up to 15 people per class. It's been a lot of fun, it's been a big journey, but we're finally here.
I teach people how to make rugs here. Being in here, it felt like a place where I want to create at.
So I do the rug backings, I tuft my own pieces here sometimes, and it's just really fun.
I'm in front of a computer all the time. And what's really nice about tufting is that you're working with your hands. It's almost meditative, and it's just a nice escape.
The point of this whole entire business and this whole entire experience is to be as enjoyable and as inclusive and to not take yourself very, very seriously. The classes range between $140 to $250, just depending on the type of class, the size of your frame. We're trying to figure out different ways to make offerings even more accessible. We started something called express booking. We created a flash sheet of pre-made designs so that one, if you're indecisive, you can choose from any of these. At the same time, the express booking is a cheaper option. We stretch the fabric over the frame and then we're tracing the design that you want, straight onto the frame. We're kind of color coding everything so that you can kind of treat it as color by number. We go through a whole instructional spiel, just make sure everyone has the hang of it, and then they start making their rug. It depends on, how quickly you pick it up, but generally the classes can go anywhere between 2 to 4 hours. We also have different size frames, so obviously the bigger ones do take a while. We just started offering a 3-foot by 5-foot frame, so that's something where we're letting people have it for a couple days because that's just impossible to finish that in one day. Once everything's good, we take the rug back and then we glue it down, add a backing to it, and then we're shaving the surface of the rug down, cleaning up the edges. This is it after it's glued. I'm just gonna start cutting out all this excess fabric, coming right along the edge. So now we're going to shave down the surface of this so it's nice and flat. Satisfying, super satisfying. Now we're just gonna get the edges. Just gonna get any last little bits of dust. The whole gluing and shaving process takes about 2 to 3 weeks, and then we just notify our students when it's all ready. It's here to be picked up. We also ship them out to anyone who's coming in from out of state.
Luckily, Andrew found my TikTok where I share a lot about my fiber arts journeys and my art projects. And so he invited me to come in for a free class in exchange for some content. And then from there, I fell in love with rug tufting, and now I'm doing an open studio membership where I can just come in whenever I want. Right now, I am working on a Japanese fan, so it's part of my ukiyo-e series, and it's kind of a way to channel my Japanese heritage.
I think the people are really the best part. You meet a lot of people every day, and the classes just kind of feel like a party. It's a very social thing, and I get to make art at the same time. I'm collaborating with an illustrator. His name's Max Colo. We're doing a huge piece. I'm really excited for it. We're gonna see if we can get it exhibited.
I love the people that I'm meeting. One of the goals I set for myself when I moved to New York was I want to kind of craft in public more. I want to be a part of a creative community. And I feel like Scatterkind was that place for me.
Seeing those smiling faces and just seeing people have a good time, it just makes all this work and all this time a lot more worth it.
I hope people are just like very like happy and that they leave like learning something new about themselves and that they just have like a really good time, like no matter like how the rug comes out, they just know they created something from start to finish like with their own hands.
I actually want Scattered Kind to be something bigger than just tufting. What we're trying to do moving forward is start introducing a bunch of new classes. It might not be fiber arts related, but it's on the idea of just doing something that's never been done before.